hear what's going on. I'm fine.
Okay, I'll let Van take it away then.
Okay. All right, I'll call the meeting to order at 6:33. Hello to all of you that are out there at home. I thought about doing that myself, and I thought I'd better not. So, we'll get our agenda out here. And we've done our roll call. I'll ask for approval of the minutes. Everybody read their minutes, and are they satisfied with them?
I'll move it if we accept the minutes as written.
Shirley, would you like to second that?
Second.
Okay. Jim and Shirley. Okay. Does anybody have any communications from the public to share with us?
I don't know if anybody watched the town council meeting on the Peace Garden. That was the town council ended up giving over to the Veterans War Group, which I think is great. But they're talking about making this beautiful garden, and I don't know if somehow maybe the wedding garden could.
Are you talking about the Rotary in this?
Yes, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I am.
Yeah, they came and made a presentation to the town council. I was surprised because the Groton Rotary didn't know anything about it, but will certainly help. But I think they're, you know, if anybody has a desire, we could reach out to them and see what they plan. It's a Jimmy Carter Memorial, and I think it'd be very nice.
Well, I didn't know if they were, because they were looking for a space, and I know we were talking about a wedding garden. I didn't know if the two could meld, or maybe not at all, but I just thought I'd bring that up. So, because they were looking around different areas in that same kind of the same locations.
Well, that's a great idea.
Well, they'd also mentioned they were trying to figure out which committees they wanted to deal with. The first step was going to be the presentation. I guess has been done.
They did do that, and the town council assigned it to the War Memorial Committee, which you know makes sense. But again, they were talking about maybe beautification could help or whatever. I was just wondering, you know, if we're talking about this beautiful garden and they're talking about this beautiful garden, if somehow the two could meet. Just a thought, maybe a bad idea, I don't know, but I just thought I'd bring it up.
And they gave it to the memorial?
There was a Veterans Committee. They said they hadn't assigned him a job yet. So that's where they were going to start at. Oh. It was going to be their first task, but they recommended they get with us eventually after. So they should be calling us to, I mean, they don't even have a location.
No.
Well, they said that they were going to talk to John Bird about maybe looking for a location or whatever. But again, you know, I mean, maybe it's not our place. I don't know. I just thought, you know, Shirley was talking about designing this beautiful wedding garden. I didn't know if the two could somehow be combined, but just a thought.
And I appreciate that. What I'll do next week at the Rotary meeting here in Groton, I'll ask if anybody's contacted our group. And I'm not sure, I don't remember, I can go back in the record and see what that man's name was that was doing the presentation.
I'm lost. What's going on?
Okay, a gentleman from the Mystic Rotary came into the town council and said that they were going to plan to do a memorial peace garden in memory of Jimmy Carter, because he had lived in Groton. They thought it was appropriate to do that. And, but they're in just the finding their way around right now. So apparently it's gone to a committee that I don't think that committee is functioning yet, and it's not our I would think that that was the wrong committee to take it to. Because, they're supposed to be doing things. I can understand what's tie-in, because Cherie was Navy. But, they're supposed to be doing something that's directly impacts some of the military we have now. There was a mandate that came down from Hartford that every town do something for their military, reserved, active duty, retired, and they gave that. I'm trying to think of the counselor's name that they gave that assignment to.
Was it Dan Gajewski?
I'm sorry.
Dan Gajewski?
Dan was the initial presenter at the first meeting that requested, he just read the letter. And then the town council directed the letter writer to show up. So that's where, and now Dan's no longer on council.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not?
He got voted in to take the place of,
He's still at the meetings.
Chris Conlon.
oh, he was? Okay,
He's still at the meetings.
okay.
Well, he said I think he said he was gonna try both, to do both.
Yeah.
I think you'll find that he'll be a little overwhelmed, but hey, he's young. So, I wish him well. So, I'll see if, as I said, I think probably the best thing, the way I can approach it is ask our Rotary if they've heard anything or had any conversations. And then, suggest that we would be happy to meet and talk with them. Not that we want to take it on, but we could probably help them with a location.
I think John said he was gonna, town manager John Burt was gonna come up with some locations. This is the Groton Rotary, right? Not Mystic. Groton?
No, it's not Groton, it's Mystic.
Oh, it is Mystic. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was very surprised when I heard it because they hadn't come and talked to us.
Ah, okay.
Communication in town is difficult to say.
Yeah, well, that's the only reason I brought it up. Again, maybe it's not something we do, but I just,
But we
thought I'd
could,
bring it up.
we could probably help. But, I think that, we'll have to find out if, John has any suggestions at this point. Maybe he could, I know where I'd like to put it, but probably get myself in hot water.
Nothing wrong with that, that would be good.
Well, nobody's ever done any, any kind of gardens in Nomeck. We gave them the land to use, probably 5 years ago. And, you know, there was a big uproar because we wanted to put housing in there. And they didn't want it, so they said that they would take care of it, they would plant plants, they would do all kinds of things. And it's hard when you're starting like that, because everybody gets real anxious about it, and then nobody.
Yeah, hard work.
Yeah. So I would think that that would probably be one of the best spots if they were going to come in and make it attractive.
Yeah, well, Shirley had already done the plan for the town hall. And if they're looking at helping Navy, that would be definite help for the weddings that happen at town hall.
Yeah, well, that was, no,
Well, that wasn't approved, but maybe we could even expand that and say, here's one step we've taken, that if you guys want to build on, we can work with you to build on that. Again, we don't know what, if there's money associated with this, if there's whatever, so,
too many.
yeah,
We'll have to find out
that's
more
why
about
we
it.
tabled it.
Appreciate your bringing that up. That's helpful. We can follow up on it. Anything else from the community? Anybody talk to anybody about anything?
It was the thing that I forwarded you, the email, EB has new purse. They
Yeah.
gave me 3 names and they couldn't come tonight. but they'd be happy to show up later and for us to have ideas that how we see they can help us.
Great, great. I did read that, and maybe we can invite them to our next meeting.
Yeah,
Will you do that, Jim?
sure.
They'd like to get involved in our project in downtown. Okay. Missy, you sure you're there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
You okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay. I think that kind of covers our communications at this point. Shall we go on to, I have a list here of things that we need to be doing a little bit with. Spring plans for the town hall annex. Do you have anything that tells us what they had put out? There was one thing they put out that came down over the wall. It looked really pretty.
Yeah, she had. I didn't have the label. She just wrote a name.
Okay.
I don't have the labels, which would be very helpful to know which variety. There was a bag full of labels. And, anyway, I
You didn't
went.
see that in here?
There was just the plans, and I thought there was a plan that she had laid out, because when we did the plan and she had,
Well, I've got a folder from, this is what she's laid out.
I gave Shirley everything that I had. So Shirley had everything history-wise.
so that's,
Well, anyway,
I know, yeah.
I went up here earlier and I laid out my 200-foot measure and I took out my 25-foot measure to place the existing plans on a plan. And my tape measure went up in here and down the storm drain.
Oh,
So you had to use your feet.
Do that if you were trying.
But the town was working there when I was there
Yeah.
taking the measurements. And I did get some measurements. And they were blowing all the leaves and it looks like they put mulch down. But the one thing that no one's dealt with is the mugwort. That whole area is full of mugwort. You can't just put plants in where there's mugwort. You've got to deal with it.
but that's what we did the last time, and I've been collecting cardboard. So, but we have to go through, when we plant, try to get up the mugwort that we could.
So
Tell us about it.
mugwort is aggressive.
Yes,
Oh, you know about mugwort. Okay, it's very aggressive. And if you don't get rid of it, you will have it, and it'll be in all your other plants.
So how do we get rid of it?
Well,
We would need a work party.
well, I'm not gonna plant anything until the mugwort's done.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a waste of money, because the mugwort will overtake any new planting. Because you're gonna water this new planting, you're gonna water and feed mugwort.
Okay.
So Shirley, you can't just put cardboard down. It's kind of late to do that. Are you thinking maybe we can spray it and then wait a while before we plant anything there?
Well, we're not authorized to use any pesticide. Not authorized. It's the town property. Only town who has a pesticide license can spray pesticides. Not in our pay grade.
So do we need to reach out and say we can't do anything until it's eliminated? We need to make that fact known.
Well, I did happen to run into Mark Berry when I was measuring, and I didn't mention it to him. I don't know. You have to have someone who has a pesticide applicator's license to do it. That's something we can do. I mean, I can go out there and see how bad it is and see how much that we can get back and put physical barriers at each point where we clear it. But there's no point buying plants until you do something with the mugwort, because it's just gonna be a big problem.
Okay, all right.
Hey, Shirley?
Yeah,
On the ones that we planted, well, it was 2 years ago now, was that somewhat free of mugwort, or is it coming all in there? Because I used to continue to weed that all last season. Did it come in afterwards?
well, I wasn't there long enough to look at they were blowing the leaves, so I wasn't, getting in their way.
Okay, because at the time we did all the plantings, the whole thing, we went through and got pretty much everything we could out, and that's what's scary, is because we did all that, and then we laid the cardboard down, and that stuff just managed to come through no matter as it was. So I guess maybe if you leave a couple little things in there, off it goes, right?
No,
It's hard to understand.
yeah, she's just saying that,
Cardboard's not the solution.
but
Cardboard is not the,
and you're saying pesticides versus getting a work party to try to get it
Well,
dug up.
we probably could see if a work party can get at least a section clear and then put a physical barrier, and then maybe clear enough. I believe it comes from the wooded area that's adjacent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And if you can get rid of the mugwort and put a physical barrier, that's like 18 inches, yeah, that will prevent the mugwort from coming back in, because it's in the wooded area. So,
What's a physical area?
you take something solid and you put it right in the ground.
Oh,
This mugwort spreads by underground runners, and it can go 4, 5, 6, 7 feet. So you have to put a physical barrier, something that it can't get through.
and what do you use?
I would use,
Shirley, I would like Mark Berry, if he could come and take a look and give us an idea what he can do. I think it's beyond our ability to put a physical barrier in there, and we can't keep putting cardboard down. It's not working.
I think they put mulch. I think they put mulch.
Well, they cover it up.
They just covered it up.
It's still there.
That works with an annual weed that comes back from seed. It does work with mugwort. This stuff is very aggressive. I have seen it take over acres.
Oh, really?
Acres. You just stand and go, oh, God. This is
Oh, it goes to have fit with the entrance off of Flanders to the sheep farm property when expanded, right around the foundation of that house. They had numerous work parties to try to clear out that for a picnic area.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe how aggressive.
Yeah. All right,
So that's why I don't have a plan.
all right, now Mark Berry was down there.
Mark Berry was here. I chatted for a second.
Okay.
So I know Cindy has always been against pesticides.
Well, I'm against pesticides.
We all are. We all are. We don't have them at home. We don't use them at home.
Okay, if there's,
There's
okay,
some things that,
correct.
well, you do have to do a combination of things. And
Yeah.
we can have a work party and see how much of it comes up. Because if you can get it back, it's tough. It's a really tough weed.
Yes.
So
Oh,
can
no.
can you hear me clearly?
It's hard, it's very hard to hear you.
Okay, because I want to say that we had a work party, we did that whole thing, and it all came back, and that's what's concerning. We've done that twice already, we cleaned that out, and it just keeps coming back.
Yes, you have.
Did you put a barrier down when you did it?
We cleaned it out, we had the whole party when we did that small area that cleaned out the whole thing to the best that we all could. and then we laid the cardboard down, and then they put the mulch over the cardboard. But that mugwort still came back. And then again, after that, we went and we cleaned it out again, and it just keeps coming back.
Yeah,
Well, it's very good.
yeah. Well, I think that obviously cardboard is not the barrier. So we gotta have something that, is a little different if we clean it out there.
Shirley, does it also spread by seed?
No, it's more aggressive by underground runner.
Do you hear that?
Yes, but I didn't know if it could also spread by seed as well.
Well, if you let it go to seed, but I mean, usually you don't let it go to seed.
Yeah.
You have it, you just don't let it go to seed.
Yeah.
Can I propose a motion that we have Mark Berry come in and take a look at it and see if we can possibly spray?
Yeah, all right, I've got to talk to Mark because we're just waiting for one thing for him to go forward with something else I'll be talking about tonight. All right, so I'll talk to Mark. I'll get in touch with everybody via email and we'll pick a day, go and get some of friends of ours and go and work on it.
Well, now, they put mulch all over it, so
We'll
Oh.
have to-
Oh.
that just makes things harder, because now
Yeah.
you know where it's,
Correct.
but that doesn't eliminate it.
But the pesticides, putting that down, it would seep down under the mulch, right?
You have to spray the plant.
Oh,
So
you have to
You
spray
have
the
to be able
plant.
to see the plant, right?
Okay,
And if you cover it with mulch,
okay.
you can't see it.
I'm just learning about mugwort, but
Yeah, me too.
I've had 2
I
years.
thought it was
of
my
nightmares.
first.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Jim.
No, so it sounds like Mark's the next obvious thing, and because we should, if we have to kill this stuff, that might affect the plants we're planting.
Well, you don't plant it with mugwort, you have
Yeah.
to deal with it.
Correct.
So that's why I haven't anything to draw up a plan. But I can draw up a plan and we can see how much the town is willing to do.
Right. Okay. All right, we'll both work on that then. What's the correct way to spell that?
Mugwort,
Yeah.
M-U-G, M-U-O-R-T.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go on to number 3, if you guys don't mind. 'Cause I wanted to mention that, I spoke to Beverly Washington about doing a program with the kids in school to see what they might like to name the fish. But I need some pictures so that as I'm talking to people, I can show them what it is that's going to be going down there. Do you all know Beverly Washington?
Yeah. And I think the fish is just down the hill from the town garage.
Okay, so I could.
Right, Sharon?
I don't know where it is. Missy might know where it is.
No, they were working on it. They had finished it, I thought, to enclose the mouth and enclose the opening door that they wanted to make sure was permanently attached so that no one could open it. So I thought it was at the possibly a garage. That's where it was. It's in a garage.
Okay, I'll find it.
Do we have a date or anything? Did they lay down the foundation for the fish? They were supposed to.
He told me, when I talked to Public Works, they were gonna put down the foundation for the fish. And They were also gonna put down the, foundation for the, sculpture.
The fish is a sculpture.
No, I'm talking about two of them.
Oh, oh,
Our batter up at Farrow's Field.
and the fish.
Once we get one more thing from Mark Berry, in approval of the selection of site, but they may have already gone and done it, I haven't even looked, but that's what he told me they were gonna do. But, he has where we wanted to put it.
Is this for the minutes, is this for the fish or the Little League?
Well, both of them.
Yeah, we've not heard back from him about where the Little League is gonna be. We gave him all the information we could about where we wanted it and where we thought it should go. He hasn't gotten back to us to say, yes, he agrees or anything like that. So I didn't get any info back from him. Did you, Leanne, about where the sculpture of the picture will go?
Yes, Shirley and I went down because the original place that you talked about, it couldn't go there.
Okay,
I went down and picked the location, which is perfect because they've done some sidewalks down there, so there was a perfect place to put it.
Okay.
It was almost shaped like an alcove.
Yeah. So
Good.
that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So anyways, Shirley and I went down, we put down a garbage can cover with rocks on it. And then I got Deb Jones to go down. And she went down and she thought it was an appropriate place. But she was concerned about where the septic is down there. Septic. hole. So then I went to Public Works. Public Works said it would not interfere with the septic. Then what the hell did they do next? I was determined I was going to get this done. Anyway, I've gone to everybody that we have to go to in the town. I have talked with Laurie, who's here in this building. She was making arrangements. She got the tax information so that we could send a check to the gentleman that makes them. So we have that lined up and ready to go. The only thing that I haven't heard back, the only person left that had to approve it was the gentleman that runs Little League.
That's Dave Franco.
No, it's not him anymore.
Oh, they changed.
They changed, and there's somebody
Nobody
new.
told you.
No. So Mark didn't even know the gentleman. So he was finding out who the gentleman was that was going to be running the Little League and get his approval. Once he got that approval, there's some paperwork that Mark Berry has to do for us. Once that's done, we can do the order, get the check, send it off. So we're very close to being able to do that. I had hoped that Mark might get back to me before tonight, but I was trying not to be pest I've been the last couple of weeks. But we've been, he said, well, you need this person. I said, all right, I'll get them. All right, okay, I need this person, okay.
We're on the runway.
good job, Leanne, good job. I just wanted to say, if this bodes for the kind of effort we'll have to put in for every single sculpture that we might bring into town, it's exhausting. So I'm a little concerned that every single sculpture we may want, or piece of artwork that we may want to place, has to go through all these hoops. We just don't have the manpower to keep it up. So I am a little concerned.
I know the process now, and I know what I have to do. The other one that went up for down by the town hall, I'm trying to think of, Bruce did that directly with the town manager. So it went a whole lot smoother than what we were doing. But now I know anything we're gonna do, the very first person we gotta go to is hopefully Deb. She's gonna be retiring, but we'll go to planning first. And when we have their okay, then we can make the other steps. It will not be difficult because now I know what you have to do.
Okay, we
Yeah.
have to
That was right.
make sure we write that down so that we all know what has to be done.
I will do that. I will do that. But, and you see that they're all here in the same building. So if you get the first step, then they kind of started falling into place.
Okay,
So everyone that's not here is Mark Berry, and he's been fine. So we're very close to being able to send that check. I would say probably next week we should be sending off an order. And I'll have Shirley help me with that because I don't have much of the information. But and going back to our list, I just wanted to be sure to tell everybody that before I got sidetracked, which I have a tendency to do. Okay, town hall, if I remember correctly, we talked about Peter Woods. And I thought there was somebody that was going to talk to Peter. Anybody talk to Peter?
no,
I can.
Okay. Because what I want to do is assure him that we're going to have a plan to keep things watered down. Because that was the problem. He didn't feel like it was getting the water or the attention it should have. So I bought a hose, and I'm going to have one of my sons figure out how I can lock it up so it'll be there, and then we can water. And we'll put together probably a schedule, and everybody will have a week that it's theirs to go down and water. I think that.
Leanne, did you talk to the man who's in charge of the building? He cannot do it. Did we get an answer from him?
I heard there's no man in charge. The person we have to go through is back to Lisa.
So the inside custodian he's not gonna be an outside custodian, he's not gonna know anything about plants.
Correct.
He may know how to operate a hose, but he's not gonna know how much water that plant needs. And he's an inside janitor, an inside maintenance person. The landscape crew,
I don't think we have a landscape.
well, we sort of do, the ones that they go around taking care of,
They go around.
They cut the grass.
Yeah.
they cut the grass and they mulch and they weed whack. But there's this very small crew.
Correct.
Now, I have a question that's kind of like tangential to this. Do we have a machine now that sucks up trash? There was some talk that Public Works is going to get a machine that would easily suck up litter and trash on the side of roads, like on Fort Hill Road, which right now has a lot of things that have been floating around, trash on the side.
Are you talking about the new machine they bought? to do
Yes.
The sidewalks?
I thought I heard about something like that. Is this-
Yes, they have it. They bought it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's up and running yet. I'm sure there's some training, but yes, they do have the vehicle.
okay.
I requested a Public Works when that was approved. I didn't vote in favor, I have to tell you that. But when it was approved, I asked for a schedule. So I will remind Mark that I want to know where it's going to go because I know I'm on TV. But anyways, I felt that it would probably only be used in Mystic, and I want it to be used in the rest of the town.
Oh, no, it's got to be used on Fort Hill Road. Oh, my goodness.
I'm sure that.
Well, it's a lot of problem on the Fort Hill Road is back up in the bushes. So the machine's not gonna do what?
Yeah, but this is designed to do the curb where it
Yeah,
meets the road.
It's
not
not designed to where,
And it's not designed to do the,
No, this one we bought is for sidewalks.
they can do the sidewalks.
Sidewalks.
no, but up in the bushes too, that's
Oh, no.
where that's where the
Oh.
trash, even from trash
Well, they're
cans.
getting
go.
ready to do a big town-wide cleanup. So if I can find out who's running that, if anybody's out there listening, let me know. I'll suggest that we would work with them on Fort Hill.
There's a Birch Plain Park, I believe it's 16th or 17th. And they were saying they're going to do, there's a thing on, somebody sent it to me on Facebook. I was going to bring it up at the meeting, so I'll bring it up now.
Okay,
They have it, their main aim is Birch Plain Park. They're off of, down past the airport. What's the
oh,
road?
that little new thing they put in there?
That's their primary aim. And they mention on their thing and other areas, but
I think it's just a parking lot. I don't think there's a.
no,
whole area.
there's a park there. Let me
Yeah, I hiked in there. What are they gonna do?
start talking for a bit because I can find the email.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
speaking
well-
of that, the beautification committee signed up to clean. We have signs up that say we're supposed to be cleaning, is it Depot Road and Industrial Drive or something? They're supposed to be doing that twice a year.
Well,
That was going to be for later discussion.
Oh, I didn't see it on the agenda. That's right, sorry.
all right, well, the Rotary does, it's the road that goes behind the airport, at the end of the airport. Thomas Road,
It's at the end of Thomas Road is where the park is. I don't know.
It's on the city side,
It's on the
you
city.
go over the little,
Yeah,
water.
it's that little bridge
it's
there.
the right just before you.
oh, okay, I know what you're talking about now, because see, they put in a new parking area down,
No, not at that one.
okay.
Down by what
Where they go
That's
it was
straight,
like the old garden center or whatever.
Yeah, that's before Birch Plain.
Yes, but Birch Plains and they're at this and other places in Groton that they were going to line up. So I'll send it. I'll try. I'll find the Facebook post.
okay,
Contact the person and ask them where they're really planning on. If they're planning on it other than Birch Plain
What are they gonna do?
to clean up.
Oh, pick up litter? Is that the cleanup or is it?
they were supposed to be doing a town-wide cleanup, but I don't know who's doing it. I guess we could probably Google it and find it.
Yeah, let me. That's what I said. I'll try to find it.
Because, you know, really, the Rotary does that area twice a year. So we need to kind of coordinate things. They might
Yeah,
be,
you don't wanna be doing something with somebody.
if they're gonna go down the trail into the trail area and clean up, that's great, because we clean up the road. We don't go into the other area.
But that's like just my neighborhood. I've done from Allen Street on Route 1 down to the horse farm. And the stuff isn't right by the road or even on the sidewalk. It's stuff that's getting pushed into the bushes.
We
So-
have the grabbers.
Yeah, well,
We go in underneath with those and you can pretty much clean everything out.
but we are committed also to do Depot Road Industrial Drive there.
That's our
That's our
adopted.
town-wide adopted road.
So we need to plan time to do that
Yes.
road.
Yeah, and that's a spring project for our committee.
Okay,
So we need to either April or May somebody, I think, to try to. I think Bruce would be upset if we planned it before he got back.
Do you think?
I'd be happy to attend as well, as long as it's when I'm back.
okay.
Okay, here's the,
Let's see what else we got here.
here's the Birch Plain part.
Those are good telephone. application form. This is the Baker Cove Watershed Committee.
Oh,
So I
well,
don't
that's
think,
Baker's Cove, right?
that's Baker's Cove there, which is mainly
Where
city,
Plain
but,
goes right
but
into
they included townwide pickup. And I don't know who they contacted for townwide cleanup.
Lisa might know.
Yeah, I'll take, I just wanted to show the
Yeah.
poster. So I'll take care of that tomorrow.
Yeah, because I think you have to go
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
Okay. Jim, checking out.
Do we have a sign update on Route 1 and 117?
What do we need? Oh, I've talked with everybody about that sign, and nobody seems to know why we don't have it back yet. So I spoke to the town manager and said, I would really like you to check on it and give us a date that's gonna get back up.
Maybe they're not gonna put it back,
Apparently they were redesigning it.
so it could swing away when a car hits.
No, somebody wanted it pointing directions. Because
Yeah.
everybody have, New London Beautification has done an excellent job with signs marking the guard, the police station, city hall, and like the courts. There's signs on a post. This is in addition to their giant crayons they have lit up in New London. But
Very controversial.
Where are the crayons?
now into,
And it's very controversial.
yeah, it's, and there's lights along Bank Street that light up different colors. They can change how they're lit up, but it looks like giant crayons when you're driving from 95 southbound into New London. Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and now I have a contact with New London City Council, another volunteer at the Guard, so I can pick his brain.
Good, good.
But anyway, I'll take care of that.
I have a friend that's a very good friend of the mayor, so if you need anything else, let me know.
And yeah,
On the town council meeting the other night, John Burt said that the sign has been approved by DOT.
Oh, wonderful.
Great, great. Okay, what's next here? Speaking of signs, the sign down at R4 broken too.
I'll take care of that. I have the signs.
Okay, great, great. You guys gotta go there just to see the new bathroom.
Outside bathroom?
No.
They had,
Renovated the inside.
Okay,
they had an outside
yes.
one while I was doing it. But I was down there the other day and, Peter, one of the owners was kidding and he said, "Do you want to come see the operating room?" I said, "Sure, what are you talking about?" It's a long white hall that goes down to where the bathroom is. Bathroom's quite nice, very, very nicely done. And so, I've donated some pictures for the wall. So we're gonna get a little bit of decoration going down there, but it's very well done, very nice. Nice addition. So, okay, and we're okay with the signs, that's great. I wasn't sure if we had any. So I've told you everything about the statue. I don't think we're gonna go into the trolls tonight. Okay, our downtown Groton. My thought was that what I would like to do, if everybody is in agreement, I was gonna ask Deb Jones to go downtown with me and show us where we can put trees. Because there's gotta be, some of that strip has to be owned by the town, but I don't really know. So I figured if we were gonna do some plantings, and we could say that we were putting them on town property, it might be a little easier to have it happen.
I think we shouldn't put it anywhere else. Personally, I think we should only deal with town property.
that's kind of, I know I want to approach that, hopefully correctly. So I will do that, and then I'll send out an email to everybody, saying what came of that meeting.
Will you make sure that you go to the area that we've heard the most complaints about, which is across from the ice cream parlor, that corner there, where the
Oh,
Dairy Queen, where does the town line? We need to know where the town line is there. Can we plant trees along there by the sidewalk? How much room do we have there? We need to find that out.
That's the same thing with the town right away too, the same thing they're having. There's no room between the person's fence
And
and the sidewalk.
And if anybody is complaining why we aren't dealing with things like that, just tell them it's private property. We don't control private property. It's private property. They have a mess. It's not we don't deal with it. We can't go telling people that you have to clean up your yard.
no.
Well, plus that's a blight officer thing.
That's somebody else's job, not ours. But when it comes to beautification,
That's the same type of grief when we brought up the fact of possibly looking into putting up fence along Route 1 and Pequannock Park. Yeah. There in Pequannock Plains, and right away we had an RTM member and
Oh, yeah.
another person come and say, you can't, you're,
Not your area that
yeah,
we don't deal with.
correct. So we backed off, and that was based on 2 years ago learning from the fence.
It's none of our business. It's
Yeah.
private property. And if somebody complains to us, we have to tell them
Blight officer.
it's private property.
Shirley, I understand, but since we're the beautification committee, we often hear and are often asked to look into something. So this is just something that's come up repeatedly. So as long as we know there's no room there, now we can say there's no room there between the sidewalk and the person's fence. We cannot plant anything there. We can, and now we have a good answer. If that's the correct answer, there's no room, there's no room.
The other thing I would suggest you do, Missy, if somebody calls you, which I'm happy that they do, ask them to write a letter to the council. Because the council can do something
Yeah,
about it.
redirect it.
The council or a specific person?
Well, you can send it to the mayor, and who's the head of the council.
I think that's a little bit intimidating for the average woman in a meeting or at a party or something like that. I'm suggesting they contact the blight officer is what I'm saying.
Well, you can do that, but a blight officer would then want to go back to them and have that person put in a complaint. I don't think they're going to want to do that. If you write a letter to the council, it's up to the council to make an action to have something done. So if you send it to, you can go online, all your councilors are there, your mayor is there. You can send it to the town manager and ask him to read it at the next meeting. And they're not gonna come back to anybody and say why, or come in, or show it.
Okay, all right.
It's up to the council to take care of it.
Okay,
You only need one or two when they'll have to address it.
okay.
Okay. All right, so, if anybody's interested, I'll let you know when I'm gonna go downtown with Deb Jones.
Yeah, I did tag along.
Okay. Missy, do you wanna
Yeah.
know?
Yes, I would like to. Just tell me when it is and I'll see if I can make it.
Okay, great. Okay, is there anything that we've talked about?
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we started talking before we hit report. Pride Corner, the information that I got to get a new account, should I aim that towards myself or?
No, who came in here a little bit to check on this?
Lisa?
Yeah, I would contact Lisa and say, okay, how do we want to approach this so that when I tell you this is what the amount is, we're gonna need to check, she can handle that for us.
Yeah, okay, because, well, Cindy said she'd just give her the bill, but she had to have a password to look at the stock that's at Pride's Corner, I guess, and to get prices. But
Okay.
I will contact Lisa, but do I have the authority to change the password from Cindy to me?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. But
Definitely.
unless you want to take that password over.
No, I would much rather somebody else be involved with all, if it has to do with the money. I usually just gave the list to Cindy and she took care of
Yeah, well-
ordering it, and I would go up and get
Okay.
the.
Can you do that for us? Can you go around, and tell us what we need?
I can tell you where to go.
Everybody thinks you're such a sweet little lady.
Yeah, but the first thing is just because it has Cindy's email and whatnot, I'll switch to my email and whatever. And they will give me a new password, so I'll be authorized. And then I'll talk to Lisa to make sure I've done everything the right way.
Okay.
So I can share you the password to see, so you can see what stock they have.
I can see what stock they have. That's available on the internet
Okay,
under their website.
with the
But it doesn't
price.
come with any prices.
Well, that's this with the password, you get the prices.
Okay, but you've gotta have,
Yes,
you have to, is that correct? You have to have an account to get the password?
correct, and that's what Cindy said. Let's change it from her. She's been in contact with them. I said I would talk at the meeting tonight, so I'll take that over.
Okay, then I need to have your information.
Okay. That's like JMS. Or just,
Which is cell phone?
860-235-5355.
535.
Yeah.
Full name,
Jim Samuels.
how do you last name?
SAMMONS.
Okay.
Missy, as soon as I hear back from Bev Washington, I'll give you a call and see if the school does want to do something for the fish.
Okay, my understanding was that there was already a name for the fish, that,
Well, they made a suggestion,
okay,
get the kids involved.
yeah,
I'd really like to have them put in some ideas. And I'm
Good.
sure that whatever grade level they decide it's appropriate for, we could meet with teachers, say,
Yes.
this is what we'd like to do.
okay,
Is it appropriate? What should we do to make it happen? We'd really like to have the kids name the fish.
Yeah. 'cause
Good.
Project O has a thing. They have two beautiful outside classrooms. One's up at Catherine Konaski, where my wife was teaching, and the other one I think is at Northeast. And so I don't know if we want to get Project O involved or is that more if they already have a program with the kids at those schools.
Well, this is,
Yeah. Okay.
let me see what Bev
Yeah.
tells us. She may suggest
Yeah.
that. You know, but I just thought it would be a lot more fun to have the kids understand what it's there for, so that when they go to see it, they know what they're looking for, and they know that they may have been involved in naming it, you know, make it more of a community thing.
yeah, I would also just enrich that, that little session that you're talking about with just maybe a 5-minute presentation about polluting the waters, the ocean, and how that hurts animals. And Jim's right, there's a whole little, I've got like hundreds of little flyers that are left over from our last, I think it was a presentation that we had at the library, what was Earth Day? So I still have those flyers that talk about pollution polluting the ocean and how trash that goes into the ocean hurts turtles and fish and birds. So we have hundreds of flyers that refer to that. We could bring that into the classroom and give that out, talk for a moment about that.
Did you understand? I couldn't.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. The schools are being taught that through Project O type interactions already. So
Yeah.
we'll let Bev see how much of it, if she wants to do it, she thinks it's good, district wise, or pick one class and go from there.
Right.
So we'll go step by step on that. And hopefully we get it done before they plant the fish without telling us.
Okay.
And should we figure our cleanup will be possibly in May?
Yeah.
On Depot Road, so we'll put that off. I'll look into the Birch Plain, I'll send out an email on that.
You want to pick a date for the cleanup? No matter what date we pick, there'll be people that have other things, so we might as well just give it a try. Now, are there any Saturdays that would be terrible for Missy?
Should we just go like the 3rd?
May 3rd, that's good.
Okay.
May.
So, I will not be able to attend that. I don't come back into town till the 7th.
I will call and make sure it's okay with Public Works. So they'll do the cleanup afterwards.
Yeah, and they have all the pickup stuff and sign
Right.
at, they have it at the dump.
Yeah.
And it's the grabbers and
Yeah.
the sign to put up behind on the street.
Everybody needs to wear their shirts.
Yes.
You can't, well, you can, but they require you to wear a iridescent folder cover. So it's pointless. All you're gonna see is green sleeves. Just so you can wear your shirt. I'm not saying you can't, but
Yeah, I know.
nobody's gonna see it.
Right. All right, I think start that rolling. Yes.
Well, these are the plants we need to order for a Burroughs field.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how much they are,
All
because
right.
I don't have price.
Okay.
So I don't know how you wanna wait to get price and then order them, or just vote to, we can't vote, well, we don't have a forum anymore.
Here we do. Missy's on the line. So all of us are members, right?
Yeah, Sharon's not.
Right.
Sharon's our visitor
Right.
and note taker.
And thank God we have
Right,
you.
Sharon?
Hey, what are these for?
Burroughs field.
Oh, Burroughs Field, okay.
He said I could still do plants,
Okay.
so this is what I'm suggesting we order. And here's the list.
Well, once he gets the code, he'll be able to go on and deal with the pricing. And then, we'll just go forward.
Okay, so that's probably your original, right?
This is what it is.
Okay.
This is what we're talking about ordering,
Okay.
okay?
Is this the copy we have this or do I need to write?
That's,
Okay. Okay, and when do we want these bought before?
well, just whenever you can get,
Okay.
Are you gonna need a group to help
No.
you do that?
I can do. It's only 6 plants.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, I'll send up the email, give you a call, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So, but do we have to officially vote?
Yeah, I think you do.
I
Okay.
guess we should, so.
You wanna make a
I make a motion that we buy Shirley's, all the 6 plants on Shirley's list. From Price Corner.
Did you say six plants? Yeah. Okay.
There's 2 Ilex Cornata Sky Pencil, which are upright, and 4 lower Helleri.
Okay.
They're all Japanese hollows. And they will make L's for Little League.
Oh, okay, that's good. Okay,
Clever little devil you are.
okay, so I motion we do it. You want a second?
Well, he made the
Well,
motion. so you get-
I made the motion, so
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
okay,
we're good to go.
okay.
Okay, motion by the.
And with, for next meeting, the people can think about bigger projects that, or suggestions of things to bring up if EB comes here and say, well, how can we help?
Well, we could try getting as much information together as we could on downtown. Because I'm sure that they might be interested in making it look better.
Well, because they,
They're in the city.
no, they're all over the place.
Yes, right, I'm sorry.
EB now
I
even
can't
has,
Yeah.
even behind the Mystic Marriott now.
They're all back out.
Yeah.
They parked the bowling alley,
Yes.
they're all, I'm sorry,
So,
you're right.
plus we have purchasing that's right next door to Chelsea Groton. So just think about areas that,
You're right.
and again, if we convince them to take over sponsorship with the Avery Park.
I would love to, but you know, it's so hard because wetlands.
But just the park area, just cleaning up on that
It's full of
side.
poison ivy. I can't go there. Man, I'll be in the hospital.
You're talking about the one on the end of Quantic Road?
That's Avery Memorial.
Yeah. But we own the front, we own the land in the front.
Yeah.
You ever walked on it?
I won't, it's full of poison ivy.
It's that and wetlands.
Yeah,
There's a little stream that runs through it,
very pretty,
little
It could
bridge
be really
goes
nice.
over, yeah.
but it's full of poison ivy.
Yeah.
There are lots of beautiful ferns. It could be.
Maybe we could have, when you talk to Mark Barron, talk about pesticides out here, ask him if he could do something to, okay, Avery Park area.
I don't,
The town doesn't do anything that Avery.
Yeah, but
No.
they could. It's
They-
town
we
property
went in,
and we got
cleaned
in
it up
trouble.
as much as we could. It was very difficult because there's a lot of opposition. But we got it, so it was really looking nice. And the Avery family had said that if we do that, they would take care of it after. But communications broke down and that didn't happen. But I'd love to put a little bench down there and, you know, I wanted to do steps down into it and have a bench, you can actually sit there.
There are steps at the wall on the one side.
Yeah, but they're not anything we want to encourage people to go down unless there's improvement to them.
Okay.
We probably have a lawsuit.
Yeah.
So, but it's something we can certainly, I know that, Deb Jones has drawings that she did for us as to where we could do things and where we couldn't.
Oh, okay, that's.
So we could try to get those again.
Because that, again, there was some of the Avery Park, and there was even a thing from, the landscape architect, Kent, I forget his first name, but he did, it was initially brought up possibly one of the statues there. He sent us an email saying he's opposed that because the space and just the wetlands and whatnot, he thought it would detract from what's there, which makes sense.
If we cleaned it up.
No, but he thought to put another statue in.
There's the Avery
Oh.
Memorial, and
Oh,
they
yeah,
don't want to
yeah,
have
yeah.
another.
We were just talking about cleaning it up,
Correct.
putting up maybe a park bench so people could sit down. That was about and trying to do something to make the steps safe. That you go down to go into it.
Yeah, and that's right across from the B property there, so that's why I hit ding, ding, maybe,
Yeah.
again, let them turn them loose on it.
Yeah.
Because, and if they'd be willing, because they said they would, there's 3 of them that were offering to come to a meeting, but tonight didn't work. So it's just,
All right, let me see if I can get the information together, and then we can explain to them,
yeah,
you know, what we can and we can't do down there. And maybe they'd like to since it's across from their place.
your number's there, if I have a question, I'll give you a call.
Okay. Missy, do you have anything else?
No, that's it. I look forward to seeing you all next month.
Sharon, did you have something you wanted to talk about tonight? I see your hand is up.
Oh, it is up? No, shouldn't be up.
Oh,
Maybe it's just stuck up.
Did you have anything you wanted to share with us?
No, I was just, one thing I was asked, those pictures I sent, was it Pam Gill? I never heard back from her. Did you see the ones I sent her? I'm hoping that was okay.
Who was that?
Leanne, you had asked me to send pictures of
Oh,
what.
yes, thank you. What we did is, Missy had brought to our attention that the Mystic Garden Club was going to give a grant, and I did the application and sent it in. I don't know how well I did, because they said, what was your success with grant writing? I said, this is my first attempt. So, but anyways, I thought if we sent those pictures, they'd be impressed with what we've been doing. I told them we hoped to use this money to work in downtown Groton business area. So we'll see. I'm sure we have some stiff opposition, not opposition, competition. But I thought the letters would, the pictures would be a real way of selling it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I just did that. So that was for they were the Mystic Garden Club?
No, it's the Mystic
No,
Garden.
it was a Mystic Garden Club. Yes, it was.
What was
Yeah.
it?
The Mystic Garden Club.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Anything else anybody has? Somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I motion that we adjourn at
And I second.
7:41. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I'm sure I'll be talking to all of you. And we'll see what we get done before the next meeting.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
I.
Bye.
And